Welcome to Boston, Massachusetts. We are here in the Bobby Brown and Stephen Plofker gym for this D3 matchup between the MIT Engineers and the Emerson Lions. For ECS, I'm Nick Gemma alongside Jillian Kay. Jillian, what do you think about this game, and what do you think Emerson can do to handle this hot-handed MIT team?
That's a great question, Nick. I think Emerson can definitely have a chance to win today, but it's going to take everything they have, both physically and mentally. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the Lions conduct themselves in this match. They were looking a little nervous in warm-ups, but I'm sure it's because they just want to do their best.
Absolutely. Team is raring to go, and head coach Ben Reed in the pregame was warming them up and getting them ready for some of these more difficult MIT serves as he used a new serve machine for the Lions, and we'll take a look at that now.
And now the starting lineup for your Emerson Lions. A sophomore from Hong Kong, China, number 1, Leon Chen.
Although this is a tough matchup, Emerson is not going down without a fight. Henry caught some footage of the Lions warming up with a new tactic from Coach Ben. As we can see, Coach saw it fit to prepare with a serve machine in order to imitate the aggressive serves that will surely come from the MIT Engineers.
It is bound to be a tough matchup. Emerson come into this one 1-1 on the season, while MIT come in 2-2. So a little more experience for the Engineers, and it is an Emerson team that have not played together for a long time. The only returning players on the entire squad are Leon Chen, the defensive setter out of Hong Kong, Josh Elliott, another setter, Lucas Ragas, Sam Willinger, and Matt Connolly. Other than that, it is an entirely new roster, and they're going to use these preseason games in order to get themselves used to each other and get themselves into that rhythm.
You're right, Nick. MIT definitely has an advantage with an older team. They have 12 returners, including 2 grad students, Jacob Gasparich from New Lenox, Illinois, and Steve Timberman from Merrimack, New York.
Taking a look at Willinger here, one of the more enthusiastic Emerson players, keeping him up and definitely going to be trying to keep those spirits up over the course of this game.
Matt Connolly trying to pump up his teammates before this big game.
It is a very enthusiastic Emerson roster, and MIT trying to match it, bouncing around on their own. It should be an exciting, a loud, and an emphatic game today. And we are excited to bring it to you here at ECS.
Along with being an older team, the MIT Engineers also bring along height with their team. Their shortest player is 5'11".
Absolutely, and that can create some impressive mismatches, as Emerson are going to need to be a little bit more creative in order to get around those blockers and in order to pick up those heavy kills. MIT will start this one with Thomas Nelson, Nicholas Gustafsson, Brett Allen, Steve Timberman, Dylan Ryan, and Michael Kalinsky, while the Emerson lineup will be Lucas Ragas, Danny Duress, Parker Gray, Sam Willinger, Matt Connolly, and Josh Elliott.
Hearing a bit of cheering from the crowd, they're excited as well.
First service is going to come from the Lions, and it'll be Lucas Ragas back there, the only senior on this roster out of Cambridge, Massachusetts, and we are underway. And a big kill starts it off. That from Jacob Gasparich, the graduate student out of Illinois. And MIT are off to a hot start.
That was a great play by MIT as we see the back row taking a great pass, and it goes to the setter who sets it up perfectly for Jacob Gasparich.
Service up. This from Brett Allen, handled nicely by the Lions. Gonna go on the side. Taking that one was Danny Duress. Blocked at the line, and it'll be picked up by Elliott there. Ragas sets it across. Willinger on it, taps it over. Handled easily by the Engineers. It's going to go all the way across. Tries to float it over, and Willinger can handle that one off of the block. As Elliott goes from the back row into the block, and Emerson are on the board.
That was amazing hustle from Willinger as he picked up that ball, diving on his stomach to save the play.
And you take another look. Elliott, knowing he didn't have the power to get it through MIT, just opted for the float shot. And a quick response from the Engineers as an enthusiastic kill from Michael Kalinsky gets them back on top. The service will be from Gasparic. Handled there by Duress. Ragas will go. It'll be from the back, Elliott. Handled nicely by the Engineers. Another big kill coming, but way too much on it. Although they're going to say Emerson went into the net, and despite the big error coming from Steve Timberman, point is going to go to MIT.
It's the errors like that that will cost the points for Emerson today. They're going to need every point that they can get.
Absolutely, against a bigger and seemingly stronger team thus far, they're going to need to avoid as many of those issues as they can. Second service up from Gasparic. Ragas goes across, and it's going to be Duress who just has to float it over. Back set here, hit big, and blocked down at the line. I believe that was Matt Connolly. And another error from Steve Timberman gets Emerson within one. Connolly, nice and easily handled by the Engineers. It's going to go across, and that through a couple blockers is Nicholas Gustafsson, the freshman outside hitter out of San Diego, able to pick up a nice and powerful kill.
In this play, we see that Josh Elliott is just a little too inside. He needed to be a little more in the 4 spot in order to dig that up.
Big service up there, but handled nicely by Duress. Ragas will back set it, and Willinger goes off the block, but it's handled nicely by the libero Nelson. And that error from Nicholas Gustafsson is going to put Emerson back within one. They're keeping this game close.
You're right, Nick. So far, MIT's errors are keeping Emerson alive, and their energy as well. Emerson's energy.
Service up from Willinger. Poorly handled there. And into the block, it'll be Gray, who handles it nicely. Ragas back sets Willinger from the back row. Handled by the Engineers. They're going to have their shot. They'll go into the block. That'll fall nicely for Chen. He pops it right over. That one in the middle. Powerful hit, but out of bounds. And Emerson have evened this one up.
Definitely a missed opportunity from MIT there. Leon Chen gave them a perfect free ball that they could have used to set up the offense, yet they hit it out.
Willinger service at the line. And they're going to say that was a nice play as it popped right into the corner. And the little kill coming from Michael Kalinsky put MIT back on top.
That was a good spot by Kalinsky, finding those deep corners.
The service will be up from Gustafsson. Willinger pops it right over and it'll go right down in front of him.
Definitely taking advantage of that overpass play there.
Willinger just got to handle that a little bit better. MIT has some powerful services, but you got to handle them and you got to get your offense rolling. Gustafsson once again, handled by Duress. Ragas goes behind and unable to pop it back over the net. And MIT will pick up another point on another error on the dig, that one from Duress.
Was it me or did they almost not call that, Nick?
Looked like they were going to let him play. Ragas unable to pop it back over the net. And Gustafsson will take his 3rd straight. Handled by Elliott. Ragas sets it up. This is Gray through the block. And Emerson get back on the board. Parker Gray.
That was an amazing swing by Gray as he went for an outside attack, even though he's a middle blocker.
Gray hitting 12.5% with 1.33 kills per set has played a good role for Emerson as a freshman out of Los Angeles. He's going to go across now. Big and powerful kill. That coming from Brett Allen as a sophomore keeps MIT rolling.
Coach Ben's telling Gray to be able to close the block, as we see here in this video. It's MIT just hit right through it.
Too much space there between Gray and Ragas, and MIT will take advantage of that. Another service, this one dug out by Willinger. Ragas will put it up. It'll be Parker Gray again. Floats it, handled poorly there. A mistake coming off the hands of Steven Serrano. And Emerson are back within 2.
So far we've seen Gray hit from all 3 positions of the court. Definitely versatile today.
And with Emerson's smaller roster, having players that can play multiple positions and do them all well is going to be very important for them moving forward. It'll be all the way across, and Gustafsson goes across the blockers and picks up another point, or that was Brett Allen, excuse me. Service is up here, handled by Willinger. Ragas is set across and into the blockers and off the ceiling. Handled nicely by MIT as that'll be floated over. Willinger on it again. Ragas, he'll set for Connolly. Connolly floats it into the corner. And a smart play there from Matt Connolly is putting Emerson back into this game.
That was a heads-up play from Connolly as he saw the front corner open. He tips right to it because he sees that the blockers are up and no one's there to cover.
Good attempt there from Nelson to try and save it, but nothing doing as Ragas will take this service. Goes back here. Brett Allen, too much on it. And Emerson are keeping the fight going.
Once again, these errors and Emerson's energy are keeping them alive.
Ragas again. Handled by the Engineers. It'll go all the way across now. That blocked, and Nelson couldn't handle it. The kill attempt there coming from Steve Timmerman, blocked at the line by Connolly and Willinger.
Amazing teamwork there from the junior and senior.
Nicely done as Ragas will go at it once again. This time with Emerson all tied up. Handled by the Engineers. And that shot, they're going to call it out of bounds. Emerson take their first lead, up 10-9.
Connolly was giving a little dance there to prove that the ball was out.
Excitable. They'll play the refs. Have a little fun out there. And Ragas on his 4th consecutive serve. Nice little run from him. Handled by Nelson. He'll go across now. Floated into the blocker. Connolly. Little bit of miscommunication between him and Duress as his stop at the line made Duress have to sort of readjust, and he wasn't able to do it in time. This will be Allen, handled by Willinger. It's up nicely for Ragas, and he floats it for Willinger, unable to respond. Big kill there off the block. And the point's going to go to MIT as they take the lead once again, 11-10.
As we saw, the ball went just through the blockers there.
It's Allen once again. And that's inbounds. Allen with the service ace to put his team up by 2. Miscommunication, it looked like between Elliott and Duress there. Handled by Elliott. He floats it off the ceiling. Ragas, tough to handle it, but he did. It's going to be set in the middle. Off the blocker, diving is Duress. Still in play. Fantastic play from Danny Duress.
Unfortunately, the refs are going to call it down.
And that's going to force a timeout from head coach Ben Reed. Emerson sticking in this one, but a couple of tough calls. Coach Reed asking us for replay. I don't think the NCAA has that yet, but we'd love to help him if we could. As we're going to take another look at it ourselves. You see Duress on the ground. Looks like the ball goes right off of his hand. Shen trying to get in the mix too.
He seems to be serving up the perfect pancake as that move is called.
Tough break there for the Lions as that'll put the Engineers up by 3, and a tough team trying to find control and trying to find their run. Neither team really able to get on a run so far. C. Reed, head coach of Emerson Lions men's volleyball for 4 seasons. He'll be assisted this year by Jake Gerard, who's in his first campaign. As these two coaches will look to make something of a program that's been left pretty much to the bone. But with a lot of talent and a lot of prospect on this roster, they'll see if they can turn it into something that can compete in the conference this year. Service up once again. This from Brett Allen. Handled nicely and unable to corral it there was Matt Connolly.
The floor seems to be a little slippery there as Connolly takes a spill.
Handled by Willinger, but it'll be floated over for a free ball. And MIT on the attack goes off the block. And Chen going into the scorer's table. As off the block, MIT lead by 5.
That just shows the hustle and work ethic from this team, Emerson.
Tough play there, but Willinger and Chen really both going after it and trying to get themselves back in this game. And off of another error on the dig, it'll be punished quickly from Jacob Gasparich, putting his team up by 6. That one handled by Duress. Ragas on it. Willinger. And that'll fall into the backcourt. Emerson pick up their first point, stop that run, and try and get a little momentum for themselves. Score 16-11.
It looks like that service machine that Coach Ben was using in warm-ups really helped Duress as he was able to get that pass perfectly to Elliott. Excuse me. Ragas.
And he'll serve it here, handled nicely by Nelson. It's going to go all the way back. Floated over. Ragas diving down. Duress has got it. Connolly floats it over. And Emerson's got new life. MIT on it still, though, handled by Elliott. Ragas will set it up. This is back for Willinger. He floats it over the top. Diving is Nelson. It's going all the way back. And unable to float it over the net there. An error coming from Steve Timberman. And Emerson, on a tough rally, keep themselves in this one and get that point.
I definitely think the crowd is helping with the energy here.
MIT has had the more power early on, but Emerson seemingly outworking them as the rest way too much power on that one. He floats it almost to the bleachers back there. And that service error will put MIT back up by 5. Handled by Leon. And it's going to be Willinger off the block and off the hands of Gasparich. Another kill there for Sam Willinger. Service from Connolly. And that one wide right. It's going to soar out of bounds. And MIT with another free point. Emerson, especially down by 5, can't give up these free points. It's just going to put them behind and give MIT all the enthusiasm they need. On the service here will be Tommy Ogeka. Willinger handles it. Ragas sets up. This for Elliott. Tries to find the back corner. And they'll call it in bounds. A beautiful kill from Elliott, finding that back line.
That was a great shot from Elliott, who we saw last night against Dean get 6 kills and 5 aces, totaling 11 points for the Lions. Looking forward to seeing if he can keep it up today.
Willinger on the service. It's handled by Nelson. He'll go all the way across. This outside of a couple blockers, a big kill coming from Gustafsson. Keeps MIT in control.
That was a great look at the sharp angle on that shot by Gustafsson.
This service will come from Gustafsson. Handled there by Duress. Ragas sets it up. This for Gray. Gray goes off the blocker, unable to handle it in the back. And off of that back window, give Emerson the point on a big kill coming from number 19, Parker Gray.
That was an amazing kill by the freshman from Los Angeles, California.
Elliott to serve. Handled easily by the Engineers. He'll go all the way across. Handled by Chen. Great dig from him. And Willinger from the backcourt. He'll go into Nelson. But they'll say that Allen went into the net, and Emerson will pick up that point as they're within 3. Take another look here at that Allen kill. Handled by Chen as we'll get back into this one. And from the back line and out of bounds. Off the big right hand of Nicholas Gustafsson has got Emerson back in this one. MIT lead cut down to 2.
Elliott waving to the camera there.
His service handled by Nelson. It'll be all the way across. Chen's on it, but unable to control it. And the powerful right hand of Brett Allen puts MIT back up by 3.
Almost saved by Chen there. He was in the right spot, but his platform was just a little shaky.
Serrano to serve. Willinger on it. Ragas will set it up. It's going to go across this for Gray. He'll have to float it into the blockers. Gray goes off the net. Trying to capitalize are the Engineers. Emerson back in this one. DeRess will free ball it over. Kalinsky will set it up. In the middle, unable to corral it. No Engineer in the area. And on some miscommunication, Emerson keeping their rally going and finding themselves back within 2.
The difference between both teams in that play was the teamwork. Emerson was able to communicate well and work together while MIT could not.
Kalinsky sets. This for Allen. Handled by DeRess. Willinger will go into it. It'll be back for Gray. He'll float it over. Kalinsky all the way across for Allen once again. Goes into the block. Quickly over. A smart play there coming from Michael Kalinsky to just send it right back over off the block. And MIT are back up by 3. Willinger handles. Ragas across. This for DeRess. He'll float it over. Handled by Kalinsky. Nelson sets for Allen. Into the block. Into the corner. And Emerson off a big block from number 34. Keep themselves in this one. 2-point game.
That was an amazing block from Connolly, as he doesn't fully press over the net. However, it works in his favor because it pushes the ball to the back corner where no one was.
Ragas will serve. He had a nice run earlier. Handled by Nelson. Kalinsky. He'll go in the middle. Gasparich unable to score off of that, but they'll get another opportunity. And a powerful hit. Outside of the blockers goes Steve Timberman. And MIT keep their lead.
MIT has been attacking the sharp angle today. Emerson needs to adjust.
Big service up, handled nicely by Elliott though. And it'll go back, this for DeRess. DeRess into the hands there in the backcourt of Brett Allen. It'll go all the way across and free ball over. Elliott on it once again. Ragas will go all the way across, this for Willinger who goes off the block. Nelson there to handle it. Kalinsky goes over. Into the block goes number 12, Nicholas Gustafsson. And MIT have opened up a 4-point lead, leading to another timeout called by head coach Ben Reed. MIT 18 kills on 40 attacks. That being the big difference, as Emerson just have 9 on 24, hitting at 38%, but with those 16 less attacks, not as many opportunities to score. As we look at the Emerson huddle, we're going to move to another look at that Connolly block, getting up and putting it perfectly into the far corner. Nelson on the dive, unable to do anything with it.
Once again, that was great placement by Connolly.
A diverse attack with 4 kills from Gustafsson, Allen, Timberman, and Gasparich, all for MIT. What does that diverse attack do to this Emerson lineup, and how does it keep them off guard?
As we see now, Sam Willinger's awesome shoes, definitely showing that team spirit. And socks, those Emerson socks. Go Lions.
Emerson, a tall order, down by 4. MIT 2 points for taking this first set. And they'll have the service as well. Back will be Brett Allen, who already has 2 aces. Handled by Elliott. Ragas will go for Willinger. Willinger floats it. Handled easily by Kalinsky. It'll be back set there. And a big kill coming from the right hand of Nicholas Gustafsson puts MIT on set point.
Although he shot right to middle back, Elliott was still shocked.
Ragas will handle it off the ceiling. Parker Gray from the back goes into the net. Some miscommunication between him and Willinger. And MIT will take the first set 25-19. Emerson trying to regroup and corral themselves, keep the team in it. As despite a 6-point loss in that first set, they were in it, they had their runs, and they had their opportunities. We'll take a short break here for ECS. Emerson looking to come back down 1-0. Taking a look at Connolly and Gray here as we are back for ECS. Emerson down 1-0 to the MIT Engineers, but a strong first set leaves some promise for them moving forward. Jillian, what did you see from Emerson that they can take advantage of in this second set?
I definitely saw a lot of potential from this squad right here on Emerson's side. They were working great together, kept their composure, and almost were able to pull it off, but just barely lost to the MIT Engineers. So I'm excited to see how they respond this set.
Emerson going with the same lineup. They'll have Elliott, Chen, Ragas, Duress, Willinger, and Connolly. Well, MIT will make some changes. They'll go out with Allen, Timberman and Gasparich, but they'll make some changes with Michael Kalinske, Nicholas Gustafsson, and the libero this set will be number 5, Steven Serrano. Made an appearance in the last set, but he will be the libero this time. And it'll be Willinger with the first attack, and he drops it right in front of Serrano, and the sophomore can't handle it. Emerson take the lead 1-0. Duress here on the service. Handled by the Engineers. Kalinske will go across. Off the block, there goes Steven Timberman. And MIT have evened this one up.
That was a great swing by Timberman as he was able to find the line even though there was a block up.
Serving here will be Allen. Allen had a strong first set with a couple of aces. That one will be handled by Elliott. Ragas will go back. Willinger floats it over. Serrano unable to handle it. And Emerson will take that point.
Great spot by Willinger, heading for that deep corner.
Take another look at this one. Just floats it right over the blocker. And Serrano not ready for it.
They call a lift on Serrano.
Connolly with the service. Low-driven service. And MIT will go off the net. But they're going to say they went off the pole. Emerson up 3-1. Take what is their biggest lead of the match so far. And Connolly will serve once again. Kalinske back. It'll roll across the net and out of bounds. Error there coming from Nicholas Gustafsson. Puts Emerson up by 3. Connolly again. Kalinske will go back. Off the block there. Blocked down by Josh Elliott. Steve Timberman had nowhere to go. And Elliott, with some emphasis, puts Emerson up by 4 and forces a timeout from head coach Todd Elwell.
That was a great solo block by Elliott.
Despite the smaller lineup, Emerson with 3 blocks on the evening thus far, while MIT have yet to record a single one.
Based on the situation of the game right now, I'm sure Coach Ben Reed is telling his players to keep their foot on the gas and don't let up.
They have the enthusiasm, and Connolly is on a great service run. 4 straight points for the Lions, and they'll look to continue that run as the set moves forward. The Engineers with a large coaching squad. Elwell leads it. He's in his 3rd season. He's assisted by Elon Fifield, who's in his 1st. Jared Velasquez in his 5th. Emily Hollingsworth, who's in her 1st, and Jordan Roldan, who's in his 3rd. Willinger, Elliott, Gray, Ragas, Duress, and Connolly will be the 6 for the Lions as they hope to continue this run. Connolly into the back of Willinger, and that point's going to go to MIT on the service error.
Willinger looking a little surprised there as the ball hit him in the back.
Gasparich will serve. Handled easily by Duress. Ragas will go back. Willinger into the hands there of Gasparich. He'll be all the way across here and float it over. On the slide, there is Duress as it goes across for Elliott. Elliott into the block. And the point's going to be awarded on a double hit to the Engineers. Gasparich floats it over once again, handled by Elliott. Ragas will go right in the middle. Gray off the block and towards the crowd here on the camera side. Emerson up 6-3.
That was a great use of the blocker hands from Gray. Notice as he goes up with a 0 tempo set right off the hands of MIT.
MIT on the roll here. Some power there. Though they're going to call Gray for reaching over the net, and a tough dig from Willinger is going to be ruled out.
That was great effort from Willinger.
Sadly, nothing doing as MIT will take that point, and sophomore Tommy Ogeka will drop back to serve. That service out of bounds, and Emerson will take that point. A service error from the substitute there. It'll be Elliott here. Had a solid service run in the first set, but that one in the middle ended early. Getting up and slamming it down there was Dylan Ryan, a 6'6" middle blocker out of Oviedo, Florida.
That was a great move from Ryan as he was able to get up and slam it down at the 10-foot line.
Service there handled by Willinger. Gray will keep it in. Ragas will free ball it over. Emerson is still in this one. They're scrambling around. And that kill. A lot of placement there for Brett Allen. He found a hole in this Emerson lineup. That was scrambling.
Great work ethic and energy from the Lions. Never giving up. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to maintain it as Engineers got it back and put it down.
Stops an error on the serve, though, as the Emerson crowd erupts. It's been a loud game so far. Volleyball, not one of the most popular sports here, but they have showed up, and they are going to continue to show their support for this Lion team. Gray once again gets an ace, goes off the net. Emerson lead by 3.
Emerson definitely has the momentum here, and as we've seen before, in volleyball, momentum is everything. Whoever has it leads the game.
They look to keep this run going. The freshman is up. Handled by Serrano. Kalinski in the middle, off a blocker, and Gray unable to handle it. And a big kill there for the Engineers as they'll halt that run and keep this game within 2.
Speaking of momentum, that was a big switch from Dylan Ryan, who activated the momentum for the Engineers.
Service is up. Handled by Duress, but it'll go over the net. And that kill, they'll call it out of bounds. An error there from Michael Kalinski. Tried to capitalize, but nothing doing as Emerson will keep a 3-point lead. Ragas will be back to serve.
Just long there.
Service up from Ragas. Some miscommunication. It's going to just be floating in the back. Tough kill as he goes into the block. They're going to say it went off of Willinger. Both Willinger and Connolly arguing that it hit the net. But the kill will go to MIT either way, and they are within 2. Looked like it went off the top of the net and off the block of Willinger. Right call from the ref from my vantage point. Service is up. Kalinski places it. And poorly dug out by Duress, but a beautiful reaction as Willinger will float it over and get the kill. Duress erred on the first, but able to recover, and a smart play by Willinger to just pop it between the Engineers.
That was a great dig off the overpass from Duress, up and over to Elliott, who was able to get it over right to the donut for the kill.
Kalinski goes across, off the block, handled by a mix of Chen and Duress, as it'll float to the backcourt from Connolly. It goes back to the same side, blocked at the line, back in the back, and it'll have to be free-balled over by Serrano. Connolly handles it. Ragas, he'll go back. It's Willinger floats it over. Serrano on it here. Kalinski back sets. On it is Allen, blocked at the line, but it's out of bounds, and MIT will take the point. A nice rally from the Lions, but unable to handle the relentless attacks coming from this Engineer squad.
That was a heartbreaking point because the Lions are fighting so hard for this.
Allen will serve. Handled by Chen. Willinger will have to float to the back, and Duress is going to have a tough play to get it over, but he free balls it over, and Serrano will have to make MIT earn this one. Kill goes into the chest looking of Danny Duress.
Even though Duress couldn't get that up, that was a great touch and almost activated their offense.
It'll be Allen once again. Handled by Chen. Rockets will set it up, and Willinger will have to just float it over. Kalinsky handles, and Serrano goes all the way across. Blocked at the line by Connolly. As this is going to have to be floated over by the Engineers. Danny Duress puts it, and Rockets goes right to Connolly, who's not quite enough height. He'll be back here. Looking to end it there was Timberman, but handled nicely on the dig. Elliott will go into the blockers to pick up a big point there for the Lions. MIT look a little shaken up. And Elwell has got some words here for his players.
Here we see Sam Willinger looking at MIT with a stare of intimidation. Love that energy.
Big kill comes there. Willinger stays on the court for a little bit. He'll head back up. Looks like he's okay.
Helped up by Gustafsson.
Good moment of sportsmanship there. Point will go to MIT either way. Good to see Willinger stay in this one. Gasparich will serve for MIT with the Emerson lead cut down to 1. Elliott's on it. Ragas, he'll go all the way across for Gray. Gray. And that service, or that kill too far outside. And Emerson and MIT are evened up here.
We'll see Gasparich go to the line.
Handled by Duress. Ragas sets back. This is for Willinger. Willinger with some power. And unable to handle that was Michael Kalinsky, but you can't blame him as Willinger got up and Willinger powered that ball down.
Notice how he gets up high and goes for the sharp angle right in between the back two passers.
Kalinsky sets across. And right into the backcourt. Willinger, a little too much heat for him as Gustafsson's got another kill.
That was a smart play by Gustafsson as he went high off the hands of Willinger.
Gustafsson evening himself with Allen there on 8 kills, hitting at 29%. Back to serve will be Ogeka. Into the net, another error from Ogeka has Emerson back on top. Take another look, too low and too far to the right. As Elliott will respond with an error himself, and we're back even.
The service errors will definitely make a difference at the end of this set.
Both teams looking for their edge, evened up at 14, still in the middle of this set. As that service will hit the corner. Leon taking a risk, but he'll watch that ball land right beside him, and MIT take their first lead of the second set. Gustafsson will serve again. And another error has Emerson evened up.
Playing a little bit of ping pong right now.
Both teams struggling to find their momentum, and Gray will serve for the Lions. Floats it up. Serrano, Kalinsky in the middle, and that right to Dylan Ryan as the freshman with a little bit of power keeps MIT in the lead.
As we see here, this zero tempo attack is virtually untouchable as Ryan goes up before the blockers are even up from Emerson.
Bradley Albright will check into this one. His first appearance as he'll look for the serve. Crowd taunting him as he messed up his warm-up there, and with the left hand will go right into the arms of Danny Duress. It's back here for Connolly. Connolly on the swing with too much power, but it'll go off the hands there of Brett Allen, and Connolly will get his kill.
That was a great call by the officials, as sometimes it's hard to see whether someone touches it or not.
Slight deflection, but both referees on that one, and Ragas will drop back to serve once again. Ragas with some power, but a little too much as that goes past the byline, and MIT find themselves back on top. Substitution here as checking out is Ogeka, and checking back in is Timberman, graduate student out of Merrimack, New York. Service up from Kalinske. Handled there as Ragas will put it right up for Connolly, goes into the block. Willinger, not much to do. He had Chen right in front of him. And MIT will take that point. They lead by 2.
A bit of a miscommunication there, but this is not the time to get angry with each other. This is the time to come together and play as a team. So I'm excited to see how Emerson responds to that.
Head coach Ben Reed takes a timeout, trying to keep his team in this one. They find themselves down by 2, but it's been a strong set. Emerson with 7 kills on 12 attempts, hitting at 42%, while the Engineers have 11 kills on 20 attempts with 4 errors. They're hitting at 35%, but they lead by 2. We're going to take a quick look here at another kill. This from Sam Willinger, going between the blockers, and no Engineer had anything or wanted anything to do with that. Take a look at the bench. That there's Garrett Seckets, high school teammate of Parker Gray, another member of this team, and some enthusiasm from the whole squad.
Also pictured was Jackson Gordon, who I happened to see at the gym today. So even though he's not playing right now, he's still able to go in and get some reps in at the gym. That shows his work ethic and readiness to play.
Not a lot of depth on this team. Only 4 players haven't checked in yet, and there are only 4 more players on this roster. It's a small lineup, and they'll all have a role to play as we move forward through what is a long and grueling season.
That's definitely an advantage for MIT. They have a larger bench.
Kalinske will serve. The Engineers up by 2. On it is Duress. Ragas. Nice pass there. Willinger looking to do something with it. Kalinske on the set once again. Into the block, but into the wall. Duress, a nice play to get there, but unable to direct it in the way it needed to go. Service up from Kalinske. Nice pass there from Ragas to keep it from floating over. As they'll go into the block of Connolly and into the net on his side. MIT up by 4. Emerson looking for a response.
Connolly was right there. He just didn't press over the net.
Kalinske pushing the pace. Willinger on the slide. Ragas will go back. This is Duress into the blockers. And a big block there, that coming from Brett Allen. Puts MIT up by 5.
I think on this play, Duress was just a bit too tight, so he didn't see the big MIT blockers right in front of him.
And that'll force Coach Reed into another timeout. Team down by 5 on a strong run. The big difference still, the total attacks. MIT with 63 to Emerson's only 41, and that'll result in double the kills as they have 32 compared to Emerson's 16.
I'd like to take this opportunity to give a shout out to Johnny Dunbar, the fitness center trainer here at Emerson. He watches all the broadcasts, so I'd like to thank him for his support. Also getting word that Terry Gray, Parker Gray from Los Angeles, California, his uncle is watching, so shout out to him. Thanks for the support.
Emerson have been led by Willinger in this one. 7 kills on 18 attempts, hitting at 33%. Following him short behind is Gray and Elliott with 4 and 3 apiece. Kalinske will continue his service run. Wrestle handle. Ragas goes across. This for Willinger. Willinger into the block and down. And inside. And they're going to call that out of bounds as Willinger picks up a point for the Lions.
That was a bit of a lazy block by Timberman, as he didn't press over the net.
Hopefully the Lions will look to keep the pressure on. Kalinske will back set. And Allen with some power. Goes right to the side of Chen. Not able to react in time. And MIT keep a 5-point lead.
Notice how he fakes angle and goes line. Great heads-up play.
Service is up, handled by Duress. Ragas goes for Connolly. Kalinski handles, Serrano will go across. This one with some power on the kill is Steve Timberman. As MIT lead 23-17. Allen will serve again. The Engineers with a strong hold on this set. As you're going to see Ben Reed talking to the officials here, trying to figure out what happened. He'll eventually break. As Gray looks to check in, Chen removed. And Allen will get us back underway. Handled there by Duress. Ragas will go. Duress into the hands there of Allen. Kalinski's got to go back, and it'll be Allen from the back line. Serrano handles and floats it right in the middle. Bit of luck, but a lot of energy there from the Engineers as Serrano picks up a nice kill on a dig that just floated in between all of the Lions. Elliott handles, but it's floated out of bounds. Tough play there for Josh Elliott, and MIT will take the second set. Tough start for them, but they responded strongly. End up winning 25-17 on a big run at the end of the second set. Emerson down 2-0. We'll look to respond when we get back. And we welcome you back here to the Bobby Brown and Stephen Plofker Gym. Emerson down 2-0 on a strong performance from the MIT Engineers, led by Brett Allen and Nicholas Gustafsson with 10 and 8 kills apiece. Emerson will look to respond here in this third set.
I think the biggest thing in this set for Emerson would be to keep the passes off the net. We saw at the end of the last set that's what really crushed them. A solid pass from the back row sets up the offense for the front row to create an aggressive attack. Without a decent pass, it is difficult to run any plays, so I'm looking forward to seeing how Emerson responds.
Ragas will be back to serve. He's quietly had a solid day for the Lions, and he'll put another good service over. He'll be all the way across into the block here. They'll call it out of bounds. Tough luck there for Connolly and Willinger. And able to find a kill on that block error will be number 12, Nicholas Gustafsson. Able to up his numbers today. And another miscommunication between Elliott, Duress, and Chen there. Still getting used to each other. Duress, though he is a sophomore out of Long Island, it's his first year with this program, and he's still trying to get used to his teammates. In Elliott and Chen on that one. He'll handle it there. Go off a box on the ceiling, and he'll have to hit it from the back. He'll be back set here into the block, and out of bounds. Another block for the Lions, but nothing doing as they find themselves down 3-0.
That was a strong press from Willinger. However, he was facing outward, so the ball went where he was facing.
Service is up. And a little too far as Emerson will pick up their first point on that service error from Brett Allen. Duress back to serve. Luo goes back and able to handle it off the block as Willinger. Ragas on the move back. It'll have to be floated over, and Duress unable to do it. Trying to shake it out of his system. Had a tough start here to that third set.
Here we'll see Gasparich serve.
Gasparich, as a graduate student, a leader on this team, stands 6'5" out of Illinois. But Duress will handle that serve easily. He'll go back for Willinger, who goes into the block and out of bounds. Emerson back within 2.
That was a smart play from Emerson, using the blocker's hands for their advantage.
Connolly will serve. Too low, Connolly. Tough luck on the service. Finds Emerson back down by 3. And if they want to keep competing with this tough MIT team, they're going to have to limit those errors, especially on the services. Gustafsson here, into the arms of Willinger. Ragas, he'll have to go on the dive. Emerson still in this one as Willinger floats it over. Handled by Nelson. He'll go all the way across with the left hand there. Was Bradley Albright, but Emerson staying alive. Josh Elliott back into the hands of Nelson. It's in the middle here from the back and over the line, but into the net came the MIT player. Looked like it was Brett Allen taking away a big kill.
They called him over the line there from the back row. The crowd chants, "You can't do that," because you literally can't do that.
Simplistic from the Emerson minds. As Willinger will float another one over. Luo goes across. That's Albright into the block and handled easily by Duress. Ragas goes back from the backcourt is Willinger. Off the hands there of Nelson. And Emerson back within 1. Sam Willinger looking to find his stride. Picking up his 11th kill.
As I said before, momentum is everything. And that's what the Emerson Lions are gaining right now.
Albright poorly into the wall, and Emerson have evened it up on an error there from Bradley Albright. Albright started this game on the bench, but he's had a solid season, hitting 14% with 18 kills. Willinger again. Allen can't handle it. It'll go off the ceiling and have to be floated over. Both teams trying to recuperate as Elliott will float it over. Luo tries to go quick. Gray was ready, though. It'll be across Willinger. Miscommunication there from Willinger and Ragas as the pass floated right between them.
I think the problem there was that Gray reached back. However, they're still a young team, so they're learning to trust each other, and He may not have been able, should not have done that.
Albright service handled here, and that'll be Gray. So they're going to call a double touch there, and MIT will pick up a 2-point lead. And into the net goes Parker Gray. His first action here of the third set. And that fourth touch by Elliott will make it 8-5 MIT as head coach Reed needs to take his first time out of the set.
Speaking of Parker Gray, his mom's watching during office hours, so thank you for your support.
Don't worry, we won't tell your bosses, but it's great to know that we have you on ECS, and to everyone watching, it's fantastic support with all the winter sports and heading into the spring season. It's just great to know that we've got a solid viewing audience and that people care about Emerson sports here. Take a look at Ragus as we'll take another look at his stat sheet. 19 assists on the evening, as well as a dig and a block assist. It's been a good night from him as he tries to get used to some of these new teammates, especially in Parker Gray and Danny Duress. Back to serve will be Albright. Trying to keep that left hand hot. Handled by Elliott. Ragus. He'll set back. Willinger from the back row. And the hands there of Nelson. Will not have to be free balled over. Willinger goes right to Ragus. Will go in the middle. Gray on the fall, able to float it over. And a big kill there comes from Brett Allen as MIT continue to expand this lead. Take another look at that. Ragus unable to get high enough to block it, and Willinger falling to the side, unable to corral it. Service again from Albright, goes off the net. Willinger on the dive, a great play from him as Elliott floats it into the corner. Luo puts it straight up. And they're going to call a double hit there on Albert Luo, the freshman out of Dallas, Texas. Gives Emerson another free point. They find themselves down 9-6.
Here's Sam Willinger leading the crowd in a chant, as usual.
As usual, Willinger, one of the most emphatic players in all of Emerson sports, and he keeps his team in it. And they're going to call that inbounds a fantastic kill from the Engineers as they just ran their offense to perfection on that one. Serving here will be Serrano. Willinger on the slide will handle it. Ragus will go. It'll be Duress from the back who's going to float it over three blockers. From the back again and into the block goes Gustafsson. And it'll be on the other side for Allen. Gray got a hand on it but unable to do anything with it as MIT continue the run. And Serrano will drop back for a second serve.
Coach Ben is understandably upset about that play, because it looked like the ball went into the net without an Emerson touch off the block. However, the refs called a touch.
Serrano will serve again. Duress is on it. Ragus sets all the way back. This for Parker Gray. Unable to get it. Just a fingertip on it. And MIT on that attack error will continue to expand this lead. Elliott handles the serve. Ragus goes into the middle. Willinger on it. Handled there by Serrano. Luo will go to the middle. Albright from the back. Chen unable to get a hand on it. And MIT are up 13-6. It's been a strong third set from the Engineers, which will lead to The second timeout called here from Ben Reed. So we're going to take another look on that block call. Looks like Ben Reed had something to argue about as it goes off the top of the net and floats right. It does not quite look like Duress got a hand on it. And we'll see how that missed opportunity plays out.
Here we see Coach Todd Elwell, who, fun fact, was voted Boston Globe's Boys Volleyball Coach of the Year in 2009.
Well, with the orange beanie, trying to keep his team in it. Both teams will return with the same lineup. Serrano on the service for the Engineers. Handled by Elliott. Ragas goes across for Duress, but he goes into the block there. Albert Luo, too tall and too strong. MIT up 14-6.
Not only was Luau appeared to be too tall and too strong, Duress also seemed to be a little bit off on his timing.
Ragas here, put it up for Gray. Willinger on the slide, handled it. Some flexibility as Gray goes once again. Duress able to corral it, but too far away from Elliott, and MIT a lead by 9.
That was a good attempt by Gray to try to push it to the front corner, however he was blocked.
Serrano again. Elliott on it. Ragas sets across. This for Duress. Duress into the blockers. Willinger handles it. It'll be free balled up, but out of bounds. And Emerson find their first point in a while, trying to get on a run of their own. Parker Gray back to serve. Emerson want to get back into this one. They're going to need to do it soon. MIT 10 points away from clinching it. Gray puts it up. Luo goes back across. This is Allen off the block. Elliott on the dive. As that ball goes up for Willinger, who's going to do as best he can. Nelson on it, and it's in the middle for Gasparic. Elliott tried to go with the feet, had no other options. But a kill from Gasparic puts MIT back in a 9-point control. Albert Luo will take his first service. On it, there's Duress. Ragas goes back. It's Gray from the backcourt. And trying to find that back corner, but unable to do it. MIT opening up a 10-point lead on some unlucky plays here for the Lions. Luo once again. Elliott mishandles it a bit. Gray will go all the way across, and Duress will just float it over. On the slide there is Nelson. He'll go all the way across. Allen thought he was going to the front, but it floated behind him as Ragas will go across. This for Duress again. Duress tries to find the back corner and does. Smart play there from Duress. The pass floated just a little bit behind him. He knew he couldn't get up and slam it down, so he decided to float it right over the blockers.
Great spot by Duress. It was a little off tempo, but it worked perfectly for this play.
Ragas will serve. Handled by Nelson. Luo goes back. This is for Allen. Allen into the net. And Emerson have picked up their second straight point. Ragas will serve once again on a miss hit there from Brett Allen.
That was a smooth back set from Luau. However, Allen wasn't able to carry through.
Service is up from Ragas, handled by Nelson. Luo goes back. This is for Allen once again. And he makes amends for his error earlier as he puts an emphatic kill right between all of the Emerson players.
I guess second time's the charm.
See him get up here. The blockers, too much space between them, and Brett Allen found all of it. That service handled by Elliott. Ragas on the run, able to get it over, but he's got to get back to his position. And unable to get to his position in reacted time. Ran all the way around the court. Got to commend the effort, but Big task there for Ragas, and he was unable to complete it.
That was a beautiful save by Ragas. Unfortunately, MIT was able to find the hole that he wasn't in, or that he was trying to get back to.
Duress will handle it. Ragas puts it right up for Connolly. Connolly pushes it to Nelson. Luo goes back. And off the block and towards the scorer's table. Off of the right hand of Nicholas Gustafsson. And MIT lead by 11. Service is up from Allen. That's handled by Willinger. Ragas goes back. It'll be Duress. And unable to find the line. Duress trying to recreate some magic from earlier. But MIT will instead lead by 12.
The Lions pulling it together for a quick huddle. Hopefully that helps their momentum.
Allen on the service. Handled by Elliott. Put nicely for Ragas. It'll be in the middle. Connolly off the block. Nelson able to corral it. Luo back to the middle. Quick response there. Gasparch found by Albert Luo. Freshman and some graduate student connection. And Emerson really with no response.
That donut seems to be the Achilles heel of Emerson right now because it requires large communication.
Willinger. Tough play there. He handles it. Connolly go into the block. Trying to dig it up was Gasparch, but Emerson will pick up the point. Sam Willinger took a beating on that serve, but he was able to push it right to Ragas.
Connolly took a risk there going right into the block, but it worked in his favor.
Duress on the serve. And they're going to call it out of circulation. Emerson find themselves a free point there. Duress, a quick service, keeps MIT off guard. Duress once again. Puts it into the hands of Nelson. Luo, he'll go back. And off the block, ready for it was Duress. Ragas, he'll have to put it up. It'll be from the back line, and it'll be Parker Gray trying to find the corner, but nothing doing. MIT will pick up point 23. Keeping with 23, Gasparch will take this service. He's had himself a quietly solid game, hitting 46%, 7 kills on 11 attempts. That service will go right into the net, and Emerson will take that free point. Connolly back to serve. He's had a tough time on the service today, but he's going to have to find his rhythm if Emerson want to get back into this one. Their service is solid, and Allen has a tough time handling it. Emerson are going to have a free ball. Or no, they won't, as unable to get it over was Brett Allen. Connolly again. Far back, it goes into the hands of Allen. Luo will go across. This is Albright. Too much from Bradley Albright. As Emerson have found a little bit of rhythm here. Handled there by Allen. It'll be back set. Floated up. Easy for Willinger. Ragas gets across. It'll be Connolly from the back. He pushes it over. Handled by Nelson. Luo goes to the middle, and off the chest there, coming from the big right hand of Dylan Ryan. MIT find themselves on set point, up 24-14. Connolly in position, but too much power from Ryan, unable to react to it. On it there was Duress. It's in the middle. It's Gray, and it's a point there for the Lions. Off the deflection.
A middle attack followed up by a middle attack. You gotta love that.
The game on the line. Emerson will put it in the hands of Sam Willinger. Nelson on it. It'll be easy for Elliott. And some left hand connection, but a big service and a quick play from Elliott put Emerson on 16.
That was a great heads-up play from Elliott, using that overpass to his advantage.
Willinger on it. Handled by Allen. Luo will go in the middle. Easy for Willinger. Ragas goes back to him. It's into the hands of Nelson. Luo goes all the way across. This is Albright. And unable to corral it was Danny Duress. A lot of power from a big left hand there. as Bradley Albright seals it. MIT take it 3-0. They take the first one 25-19, followed by 25-17 and 25-16. Tough night for the Lions as they fall to the Engineers. And what do you think they can work on in the future to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Well, Nick, I think that they can work on maybe keeping their composure more, and they definitely have the teamwork down, I can say that. Maybe just working on finishing. How about you, Nick?
It was some tough passes and some miscommunication that they should be able to work through in practice and find their rhythm as we move towards the conference appearances. But MIT take this one from Emerson, 3-0. We thank you for tuning in here at ECS from the Bobby Brown and Stephen Plofker Gym. We will see you tomorrow at 1 in the afternoon for a women's basketball matchup.